Hello there and welcome to this short video where I just want to say a few words about transition and big change. I'm wondering if you know that place of going from one thing to another that feels like a really, really big change. Recently, I had the experience of moving from South Africa to London in the UK. And I believe that moving is in itself one of the biggest stress factors that there can be. And moving from one country to another, I never realized exactly how much stress it would bring. Big change and transition involve our nervous system, especially if we are introverts and if we had some stressful things happening as we were growing up as children. Stress and uncertainty and huge changes in our lives upset us quite a lot. As I was going through the stress of packing up our house in South Africa, deciding what to do with a lifelong, just all the things, the stuff we had that we were emotionally attached to, getting a new place in the UK to stay, making a plan for my cat. It was so much going on. And I don't know about you, but when I'm in the midst of big change, all I have to do, or the thing that gets me through it, is to almost not think about how big this is and just to get my head down and get through it one day at a time. So that's what I did for a period of months. I tried not to really think about how big this thing was. And it's only now, after we've been settling in the UK a little bit for a couple of months, 3 months or so, that I'm really starting to notice how big a change this was, what I all left behind, where I'm starting to notice some loss of things that I not thought about before because it was perhaps just a little bit too much to think of all at once. Big change or transition are things like moving even from one city to another, from one country to another. If you're considering a career change, if you're in the process of changing from one career to another, or going from being a student to being employed, or if you started a new business, maybe you went from employed to being self-employed, to being the boss. Perhaps you received a diagnosis of some kind, so you went from being somebody who was healthy to someone with this diagnosis, and you have to deal with all this new information about illness and what you have to do and what your body is experiencing. Even perhaps something like being childless to expecting a child, or to a child being born for you, means a very big change. It's a transition from one state to another. And as soon as our identity is involved in some way, the way we see ourselves is changing or has to change for us to be in the new state. That is a massive change and can be extremely stressful. And like I said, if you're an introvert, especially, our comfort zone is pretty important to us, and it is hard for us to deal with uncertainty. For some extroverts, they love the feeling of newness and adrenaline that new things bring, adventure. It's exciting to them. And for most introverts I have dealt with, that newness, adventure brings more nervousness than excitement. So what I'm proposing is, as we're going through big change of any kind, that we be super kind to ourselves. Our loved ones, our friends and family, they will be kind, they will be loving, they will give us as much as they possibly can, and they still have no idea exactly how challenging it might feel for us to go through this big change, whatever it is that you might be dealing with right now. So I'd love to just lead us through a simple tapping round where we're just going to bring in some kindness for ourselves. So You're welcome to follow along with me. If you don't know what tapping is, just follow along and go and Google it afterwards. It's a very effective way to bring down the nerves, anxiety, fear, and just bring some calmness into the body. So today we're going to bring in some kindness for ourselves. So follow along with me, tapping on the side of the hand and say, especially because I'm dealing with all this change and it is hard for me, I choose to be kind to myself. Especially because there is so much going on and it's really, really nerve-wracking for me, I choose to be kind to myself. Especially because I'm in this transition and there's a whole lot of new things I need to get used to and it's stressing me out, I choose to be kind to myself. And then tapping on all the points with me. There is a whole lot going on and it's stressful. And that's why I choose to be kind to myself. There is so much going on and it's stressful. I'm feeling stressed out. And that's exactly why I choose to be kind to myself. This change is big and it's stressful and I don't know what's ahead for me. And that is why I choose to be kind to myself. There is so much going on. This is the point under the arm on the seam of the body about where a lady's bra strap is. There is a lot going on. This change is difficult. I'm dealing with a lot. Nobody knows how much. Top of the head. And that is exactly why I choose to be kind to myself, to bring in compassion for myself in every step of the way. I choose to be kind to myself. And taking a nice deep breath in and let's let it out like with an audible sigh. I hope this meant something to you today, and I wish you kindness and compassion and growth on this journey.